called Careless Love. The reason I started with that one was to sort of segue into the next section, covering hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, and a couple of other things. Drop thumb, and maybe some 3/4 time. But the first three, the hammer-on, pull-off, and slide, are all contained in that song. And gives you a good idea of the way these techniques can be used to spice up a piece of music. It gives you a little extra pizzazz. It'll convert a bump into 2 eighth notes. So instead of just this, you can play this. And it really, in the context of playing music, does a lot to spice up, to change the texture, the feel, the presentation of a song. Let's look at the first couple of bars of, say, Cripple Creek. And it's recognizable. So that's the way you might see that in very basic tablature. First 6-month student might see that. But you want to pep it up a little bit. You're going to be playing it fast sooner or later. You're going to be in a jam session or in a situation where people are going to want to do it like they did on Hee-Haw, picking and grinning, you know? So in order to spice it up, jazz it up, you can do a lot with a little bit of finger motion on your left hand. Okay? So instead of this, you just do this. And it changes the whole sound of it. Even though it's the same basic timing, same basic bump-diddy rhythm, by using your left hand efficiently and in the right places, you can change the tune or the tone or the presentation of almost any song. Where do you use it? That's up to you. Some of the tablature we've given you will show you to put in some hammers on, pull-offs, maybe 1 or 2 slides, but you decide. It's your music, isn't it? It's your instrument, it's your presentation. So let's go over the proper technique to do each one of these really very simple but very effective tools to do them so that you can show them properly. The pull-off is exactly what the name implies. You can do it with any finger. Let's use our pinky right now. Go to the 1st string, 5th fret, and just fret it right there and pick it. Okay? And that would be a bump. But if you want a little more pizzazz out of it, you just do this. Okay? So instead of you do, changes the whole sound. So a pull-off is nothing but snapping. Okay? And you can even do it without first, in some instances, without first striking the string. You can do this. And there may be times you'll want to do that. As you develop, as your left hand becomes more precise and more sure of itself, you'll find all kinds of places to put these tools in. Let's try the pull-off again, just like that. Strike the string, fretted, hold it for its full value. One more time. And let's do 3 times with the pull-off. And you want to get enough of a snap on it that it has good volume and good tone. It's a matter of practice. There again, in the beginning, be sure that your thumb is back there to give yourself a good lever. That goes for all of these techniques. Get the good control now. You can get sloppy later once you learn it this way. So you'll have a good base there on the back and something to give this some bite. Okay? And you need a little bite to get that sound. So let's go again the first couple of bars of Cripple Creek. See? Changes it. And when you speed it up, it really sounds good. Nice little tool. We like it. Use it a lot. Hammer on. Well, like old Yogi Berra used to say, it's just the same, only different. You're doing the same sort of thing. You're adding a little flavor, but instead of pulling, you're actually, as the term implies, hammering down with one of your fingers. Let's use the middle finger of our left hand. There again, you want good position here because, as the name implies, you're actually, hear that? You're not picking first, you're actually hammering. And in a musical situation when you're playing, very, very effective tool, very effective sound effect, if you will, to the people listening to your music. Now you can do it while the chord's formed. See? Beginning of Ragtime Annie. Or you can do it by itself, or just good grip on the back, straight down with some authority. You'll know when you get it right. It'll be very, very close to the sound of a moderately struck string. Little different, but when the music is flowing, it all fits in together. I don't think the human ear can really pick it up that well. So there's two excellent tools that will really put a lot of spice and pizzazz. Look through the tablature that we've given you and you'll see where we've put it in. That's the way we play these songs. You may not like it that way. Put them wherever you want. Use them. Practice them. Get good at them. Get confident doing that. A slide. Interesting technique. Relatively simple, but also very effective. In the very beginning of Careless Love. Hear it? Changes the song, changes the sound of it. It makes it flow right into the next section. So, a slide is nothing more than striking the string, in this case, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then keeping pressure on the frets. Slide her up to the 4th fret. Normally you'll run 2 frets. There's a 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Okay? Very effective. You can use it in a lot of situations. Again, you want to have good hand position, straight down. All these little things we learned several lessons ago come into play now. Because if you're not clean, you can't do them. You've got to have the leverage and the physics in your fingers to be able to do that. And as you master them, your hand will find its own best way. But for now, keep that thumb a good lever back there to give you that. A lot of people use a slide on the 1st string. So they're good tools. They'll help you a lot. It's about all I can tell you about those. They're very simple, but it will take some practice to know where to use them effectively and to incorporate them into your playing. It comes along after the basic strum, the chording, the chord changes, playing some simple tunes, and then giving in to that innate desire in all of us to jazz it up. I jazzed up a 68 cornet. Now it's got 300 horsepower. Hot diggity dog. Well, same thing. This is hot rodding the banjo just a little bit. Putting some spice into it. Drop thumbing. Interesting technique. I very seldom use it. I practiced it some time ago. many, many years ago. And I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to use it. For the kind of music I wanted to play, it really wasn't appropriate or effective. I do know how to do it, and I'd like to share a little bit of it with you. I'm not an expert at it. There's people that can do this. Oh my goodness, it's amazing to watch them. But I'll give you the basics so that if you want to practice it, you'll be able to put it in anywhere you like. The best way I can explain it is, rather than doing your bump ditty, it almost sounds like bump a ditty. Bump a ditty. And let me see if I can play it for you. Now what I'm doing, instead of playing a quarter note and 2/8 notes, I'm playing 4/8 notes, which is the same time value, leaving out the strum, and your thumb is hitting, in addition to the 5th string, down on the 2nd string. Now, you can hit any string, but in the beginning, most people play it or practice it on the 2nd string. For some reason, it seems to work good there. And the sound is bump a ditty, bump a ditty. Let's try it again. And watch, just take a look at my hand, and you'll see that it's also very conservative, the movement. It's not a lot of flailing about. It's very conservative, and you have a definite target for that thumb. Okay? So this is the few times where your old right-hand thumb, your old buddy who gives us the pedal point there, the home base, will have something else to do. It's very important, though, to go back every time, because you are taking it away from its base point, and you don't want to lose your place in time and space. So it takes a little bit of practice. So let's run through that bump a ditty rhythm a little bit. I'll run some bump ditties and then kind of flow into it. Let's see if I can go through this. There's the bump ditty. Bump, ditty, bump, ditty, bump, ditty, bump, ditty. That's the the most basic technique of that. Now you say, where might I use that? Well, the one I learned to do it on was Boil 'em Cabbage Down. Let's see if we can play a couple of bars of Boil 'em Cabbage in regular bump ditty, and then a couple in the bump a ditty of the drop thumb. And you can get a feel for the way it changes the song. Now, as you pick up speed, as you pick up again your technique, this can be really effective. This can do some wild things, and you can go off on the fiddle tunes, all kinds of really interesting music by perfecting that technique. It takes an awful lot of work, but it's well worth it if you want to pursue it. We'll give you the very basics of it so that you can put this into your trick bag and maybe later on really do something with it. So I'm going to do the first couple of measures of Boil 'em Cabbage, and then I'll flow into the drop thumb and then close it out, and we'll see what it sounds like. Okay? Now remember, Boil 'em Cabbage Down, key of C, out of the G tuning, and we go from C to F to C to G, C to F to C to G to C. So fairly simple song, good way to demonstrate and practice the basic drop thumb. One more time. Boil and cabbage down, a little bit of a drop thumb in there. Forgive me if I was a little clumsy at it. I don't use it a lot. But that's the basic sound. And I guess the best way to put the rhythm into your head would be bump-a-diddy, 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 rather than bump-ditty. And you can feel that rhythmic change, but the timing and the basic flow of the music stays the same. So good luck with that. Work on it and let us know how you do with it. Okay? Now, one last thing here. 3/4 time. 4/4 time is basically 2 bump ditties per measure. Most of the songs you'll be doing, and we gave you a few 3/4s in the tablature, but most of them will be 4/4. Well, here comes our good friend Yogi again. Just the same, only different. Of course, you know in 3/4 time, there are only 3 beats to the measure, as opposed to 4 beats to the measure. And we know that since it's 3/4 or 4/4, that the quarter note gets the beat. Okay? So it would mean that in 4/4 time, there are 4 quarter notes to the measure. In 3/4 time, there are 3 quarter notes to the measure. How we break them up, how we divide them, totally up to us. But in the beginning again, for 3/4 time, your basic rhythm is bump, ditty, ditty, instead of bump, ditty, bump, ditty. So we're taking out 1 bump, 1 quarter note. So you're left with the numerical equivalent of 3 quarter notes. This is what it sounds like. You can hear that. Now the strong beat in 3/4 time is the first beat of the measure. In 4/4 time it's the first and the third. Okay? In 3/4 time, the first beat is your strong beat. Okay? It flows just like 4/4. It's a beautiful rhythm for the 5-string banjo, frailing. A lot of really nice old-time songs are in 3/4 time. They're great for singing and they're great for playing. Some of our favorites are in 3/4 time, and we've shared some of them with you there. But there again, it's another rhythmic pulse that you've got to get into your muscle memory. By the time you get to this point, you'll be ready for it, because you'll have your basic bump ditty and you'll be playing some simple songs and changing your chords in 4/4 time. 3/4, all you're doing is dropping 1 bump. Just think of it as that simple. Instead of it's okay? Bump, ditty, ditty. Play along with me. Bump, ditty, ditty, bump, ditty, ditty, bump, ditty, ditty, bump, ditty, ditty. And you can hear that the first note, the first beat of each measure is the strong one, and the other 2 are somewhat weaker. Not necessarily softer, weaker in attack. Now, we're going to segue over to Patrick with some advanced techniques, some advanced ideas. But I want to share one more thing with you before we do that. And then we're going to get into some jamming. And you might want to use this idea in your jamming. in the first couple of years that you're playing, you're going to go to a lot of, I hope, festivals and jam sessions. And you're going to hear songs you don't know. I mean, we all do. I still hear songs I don't know every time we go someplace. Well, the only thing that we have to know to join in those jam sessions, what key is it in, and what's the timing? Is it 4/4, 3/4? What is it? If you know that much, and you know your bump diddy strum and can change chords and feel the change, you can join in. You don't have to know note for note. No matter what anybody tells you, you don't have to. There's a technique, and I think Pete Seeger called it whamming. A little different than he does it, but similar idea. If you know the key you're in and you know the timing, you can just go between your third and fourth string and do your bump ditty and change your chords on time. Let's just take a chord progression. Something like from the Wreck of the Old 97 or the Baltimore Fire, or you pick it. It doesn't matter. We'll be playing all these later. Well, they gave him his orders at Monroe, Virginia, saying, Steve, you are way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. Gotta put her into Danville on time. Now, I wasn't playing the melody there. The melody goes like this. But all I was doing the basic strum, keeping the time, and changing my chords. And going between the third and the fourth string, or your second and third string, it doesn't matter. But you can go right along with it, and you'll blend in beautifully with the music that's being played and develop your skills of changing chords, of singing along, and of joining in this great roar, this living thing that is folk music, old-time music, bluegrass music, being played at festivals and fire halls all over the world. It's a great thing. So don't be afraid to do it. Walk up like you own the place. What key is it in? It's that simple. God bless. Good luck with Patrick, and I'll see you again shortly. We'll be playing some tunes together, slow and fast, 3/4, 4/4. You can play along with us and try some of these things. And especially when you're singing with us, before you're learning the exact fingering, just wham along. Make that thing sing and sing along and watch how much fun it is. Thank you.